I like to point out, folks. I remember watching Nitro when that ended because again, it's that era you switch between Raw and Nitro, and when that ended, I laughed because it was like it felt like so anticlimactic the way it just ended, and then they boom, they go to Thunder in Paradise. That was hilarious to me at the time because I'm like, okay, so I guess that's how we're ending.
Damn you!
Got to cut to Thunder to see what happened next,
Yes, we have
which
to. Gentlemen,
which Thunder
welcome to
was
Working Down
recorded.
Speed.
So yes,
Looks
welcome
like
back. Um, so it looks like game five of the NBA Western Conference Finals happened, and D, never in my life have I seen a player put his dick on a table and sit it there from first quarter all the way to end, the way Luca did. This man scored 20 points in the first quarter, wasn't even done yet.
you know what?
That was sick.
The whole series came down to who was going to be. Okay, remember how everybody was already saying if this was the Nuggets, it would have been a whole different series. It would have been a matchup problem, all the rest of that shit. True, true.
Oh, yeah, very true.
They
Very
didn't
true.
have that. What you had on the one side was a bunch of inexperience and guys who were overrated. Just keeping it real. Just keeping it real. And on the other side, you had two killers. Had two guys knew what they were doing. One dude who's already a champion, and I like when the series started. I think in game two, that's what everybody was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, because in my head, I think everybody going into it was like, shit, they beat the Nuggets. They might mollywop the Mavs. And I was
Oh
actually, no,
man,
don't get it twisted. I was buying into it because I'm like, shit, they beat, because I didn't have the Mavs as a threat. I knew they were good, but I didn't see them as a threat because I was like, yo, Nuggets gonna go all the way. So when the Timberwolves beat the Nuggets, I was like, oh man, Luka and them are done for. And like you said, game two was where a lot of us was like, oh shit,
it
damn.
was just the and it was the dominance. It was the teamwork. It was the fact that it got down to crunch time, and it seemed that Dallas never panicked. They always it felt like they always let Minnesota make all the mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And it really did because when it came down to crunch time, several times, the biggest example was the person I think that hurt them the most, which was Carl Anthony Towns. I feel that Cat fucked it up for this team so bad because and I'm not really sure how much I can blame on coaching, but I'm gonna give a portion of it on coaching because it reminded me of Boston last year
Mm-hmm.
where you're taking all these threes and you're not making nothing else. And instead of maybe we should go a little bit mid range, maybe you should go to the hole, maybe we should do screens and try to get pressure off one person and all the rest of that. Maybe we should have you go out there and fade off in the back or something like that to
Mm-hmm.
do something different. Cat's first instinct was to get the ball, turn around, jump, like stop. Stop,
There's a certain
stop,
measure
stop.
there's a certain measure where whether you're playing any sport where if you're not getting the shots or you're not getting what you need to get, you have to adjust. So I think when you was like the Boston example, I think Gil and Kenyon said it best. If you're missing the first 10 of your threes, switch it up at that point. Like don't even try to like keep going for threes. Switch that shit up and just get some twos and get yourself back in the game. Then go back to threes if you really are feeling it once you catch fire. And it's the same with Cat. Cat is determined to back his words on being the best big man shooter by any means necessary. And it's like, no, dude, just no, don't do that.
First
Like,
off, first
no.
off, as much credit as I can give him, I think Joel is a better shooter than you. I'm just
Yep.
saying shooter. I ain't say he can hit threes like you because you
Yeah.
can hit threes. Good for you. But I think Luca's better than not Luca. I think Joker is better at hitting threes than you are.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever, that ain't here or there. So the thing that gets me with Cat was he just never adjusted at all. And I remember it was like I think it was game four. I think it was game four, I think it was after game four, where they had to ask him. Somebody asked him, what's going on with shooting. He's like, nah, man, I take about 1,000 shots. I hit like 1,000 shots over a certain amount of,
Yeah.
over a certain amount of time and all that shit. Now, I'm glad I saw some pros talk about this shit, which was on Gil junk, and Gil was like, I believe him. But what type of shots are you taking? And I was with Rashad McCants the same way. He's like, yeah, you can take all those shots, but are you doing this? Are you doing that? Are you doing this? Until a little bit of time. Then it was like, wait a minute. Then you taking them shots. Then you going into practice. Then you going into this. Now you got to play for the game and all the rest of it. So it was like, we're not even taking it that deep. We'll believe you.
Nigga.
Yes. And that's the one thing I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm teaching my son that I know what you see on 2K. Yes, that's your stats. That's what you're rated. And you notice how bad, and I told him this, you notice how Bama's in 2K play, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. That is a video game. Mm-hmm. A video game. Okay, you could be a 90, whatever rating you are at the 3-point line. As soon as the game starts, you got to factor in everything else. And the little thing called rhythm. They're getting better at it in 2K, but there's a little thing called rhythm. If you're cold, you're going to be cold. Okay.
Yep.
If you and like you just brought up earlier, if you took 7 shots at the 3-point line and you only made 1. Do you understand the law of averages? Do you understand the law of averages at that point? My thing is, switch it off them. That's all I'm saying. Whatever. Now we over there now. I feel bad for Ant. Ant is getting crushed. White Mamba is killing this dude, choking him out. He can't do shit. Even when he made, what was that, 25 points that one game, they didn't win that shit. Even when Ant had a good game, he didn't have a good game because the rest of the team couldn't really get into it like that. Then we go to Rudy. Oh man,
I feel bad for him.
Rudy, I don't feel bad for Rudy. I don't. Much like Joel Embiid wanted to be the MVP and didn't make it to the finals that year. I look at Rudy. You wanted to be the best player of the year. You wanted to be the defensive player of the year. Your stats said that you was the best defensive player of the year. Okay, cool. You can't play against nobody one-on-one. We already know you can't, because one-on-one defense always exposes everybody.
You ain't Dennis Rodman, so
like Rodman is probably the only nigga, but even then, people dump like 25 on that nigga. But still,
when Rodman
Rodman
wanted to lock you down, like when they put him on Karl Malone, he locked down Karl Malone. Like Karl Malone, he's gonna get his points, but he gonna make that shit hard for him to get the points. Like, nah.
My thing is this, Chris, and I felt bad for Rudy only in the sense of time's running out. You make the wise decision to switch off I forgot who was on Luka, but he switched them off. Here comes Rudy, the one of the best shooters in the league in the last 5 years against one of the best defenders in the league. You're one-on-one. No, Rudy was a blocker and a rebounder. That's the main reason why he won Defensive Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. You lock him on one-on-one defense, having to keep up him doing doom. He hesitated you, then step back and fade away. You're not going to be able to block that.
Dude, Kyrie was shooting so...
And you could have picked... Here's the worst part, Chris. You could have picked any of the top 10 shooters. They would have got that shot off the same way that Luka did, yeah?
Dude,
Rudy got exposed in the very worst way.
I feel the funniest shit that had me rolling. So basically, once the Mavs had like a 20+ point lead, right? There was a moment where it's like the Timberwolves are chipping at the lead, right? Because it was like 30-something points, and they chipped it down to like 21. I'm like, shit, right? Here come Kyrie driving down 3. Silence the whole fucking crowd. I'm like, well, never mind.
The end of that. Kyrie is a man on a mission. I don't think nobody is really understanding how Kyrie this year is not the same Kyrie.
And T-Hawk ones. All right.
Yes, in the T-Hawk ones. Thank you for that. I meant to get a picture of the T-Hawk ones. But yes, this is not the same Kyrie.
Oh, no,
this is the Kyrie. He's a vet now. He understands the game. He's been to the dance 3 times already. Mm-hmm. Only won 1, unfortunately. But he went to the dance 3 damn times. This is his 4th time going now. He smells it. He knows he can solidify his whole legacy.
Oh, he knows
against the team, against the city that technically kicked him out.
Look,
Oh, I hope. Like, here's the worst part, Chris, and we're going to get to them. I want Boston to win because our part of me does like Boston, but there's a stack of reasons why I don't want them
Oh
to win.
no. I said it in the group chat. I don't know if you saw it. Oh, don't let Luca and Kyrie cook in the first two games in Boston because it's going to turn to Rocky Four where the Russians were rooting for Rocky, and I'm going to laugh so hard.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen.
Hey, Boston has a lot of white folks. They're going to be like, hey, Luca, yeah.
Release our secret. Like, release our secret Caucasian. All of a sudden, Porzingis shows up. But you're not hurt? No.
Oh, there's still question marks on whether he's actually going to play.
Yeah, there's question marks. There's question marks in him. Speaking of which, one of the games that I felt great was a game.
First off, you ain't shit. You ain't shit.
Yeah. But that being said, what game was that? I think it was game 4, maybe game 3. No, game 4. Yeah, it was game 4.
Yeah.
No, game 5. No, game 3. When Gafford only scored like 8 points, but he had all this energy to block, be all over the court. He was annoying, and it hit me. I was like, oh, Danny, I need you to get this ring. You served 2 good years with the Wizards, man. I need you to get your ring.
Gafford, his tenure with the Wizards was pretty good. I don't think nobody ever really hated Gafford.
He knew he was in between teams.
Yeah,
he knew he was in between teams, but he wanted to get his stock up to go somewhere better. Yeah. That's what we are here at the Wizards.
It's like a stop.
We're a layover.
Stop layover to the look. We had Westbrook. We had a good run, and then he went to the Clippers, and he's actually been doing pretty decent.
It's like we're a layover team, man. You saw what happened to Jerry Stackhouse. He got the fuck out of here.
Also, death taxes and us unloading big contracts to other teams, so we come out pretty good afterwards.
Oh, yo. The Wizards, there's talk that the Wizards are going to, they might be. I don't think it will happen. But don't be surprised if we trade out Kyle Kuzma.
Well, Kuzma, to me,
I don't know where. I'm not to get up and come on. They're not going to trade away our number 1 pick for us. That's not going to fucking happen. But don't be surprised if Kuzma, between now and when the season starts, we moved him out somewhere or we got a deal for him or whatever like that. Don't be surprised.
We got Brian O'Keefe is the official coach of the Wizards now.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he's the official coach of the Wizards now. They kept him, which to be fair, like I said it before, the second half of the season when he actually ended up becoming like the interim coach and shit, that was when the Wizards were at their best because they finally figured out a lineup that included Poole not being in the starting 5.
Yeah. I think they also want to give him his chance. Because O'Keefe been in the league for about 13 years. He never had a chance of coaching. Mm-hmm. So I think they want to go ahead and, this is a funny thing about when you're on a sorry team. I said it. When you're on a sorry ass team, you can make an experiment with a coach like him. Like, let's see what he do.
Let's see what he does. I like the cut of his jib. Let's go. He
said all the right things in the interview. He knew what a basketball is. The last guy called it a sphere. So yeah, I think we're doing good in this one. But yeah, man. When it came to the Dallas game, man, that show like the way they ate them up, man. I felt bad for only felt bad for Ant in the sense of he got to know what it felt like to have the whole world of the NBA ride his dick and immediately jump right off of it. Mm-hmm. Like the way, because remember when like people, I'm glad and I hope he didn't let it get to his head while people were giving him the Jordan comparison.
Oh yeah, because he was doing
there's a lot of Jordan in him, but I'm already going to say right now he's going to be Anthony Edwards. Okay, He's not going to be Jordan. Let's make that very clear. But shit, you showed me, boy.
Look, man, that's one thing I can give him throughout the whole series that you never felt like he wasn't fighting. He was fighting the whole time, even when they were down 20-something points. When they went on that, before Kyrie shot that 3 to pretty much ice the game, they went on like a 9-0 tear with him just shooting back-to-back threes. I'm like, fuck, this motherfucker really no, we got to put the shit on our back. Yep. Oh, yeah. Like, it was go time with Kyrie. Like, as soon as Luka went out and he tagged in, he was like, nope, we're going to keep the party going.
when you have it, when you like they knew it, they smelled blood, and and of course that's what good teams do, especially when you in a series, man. Second you smell it, take them out before they get in your smell. Like a part of me wanted Minnesota to win last night. A part of me did. I really thought they were going to come in there and have a healthy game. I thought
Everybody
I
did.
didn't think the
Barkley
last
thought it was, and everybody did. It was like, oh shit, they're gonna be loud in that arena.
hell no. Hell no, man. Prince could have came back and then would have it would have never made a difference.
Oh, dude, Luca was talking cash shit to Snoop on the sidelines because Snoop was like, man, Dallas ain't shit. Luca shot a 3 and looked over at Snoop and he said something to him and shit. I was like, oh damn. Probably cussed out Snoop.
A part of me. I'm going with the joke that that Twitter has been saying. Part of me thinks Luca's been calling people the N-word and they've been letting it slide.
And was it Slovakian or whatever?
Slovakian. He was saying the word nigga in Slovakian and nobody knows it.
You know what? Let me ask you this. So everybody's had jokes about how Luka looked like he ate like a 20-piece chicken nuggets and just rolls out on the court and just plays, right? I feel like there's so much of people getting on his body type, but I'm like, I think he's in good basketball shape. It's just like it's not.
One, we watch wrestling, Chris. We know this for a fact. You have to be in shape to play that sport. Is he chunky? Sure, but I think it's so funny how a lot of us.
I never made fun of him. It was just funny.
He is Serbian. He's Serbian. But but that being said, much like it's like this. As long as it kills me because we all the people that saying that grew up watching Charles Barkley, and it's like shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
everybody saying this grew up watching Zach Randolph. Shut up, okay? As long as he ain't huffing and puffing and
he's supposed to have an 8-pack abs and shit. Is that going to make it happen?
All right, now this dude is not as big as that, but we see PJ Tucker. Like, come on, bro. Like, if LeBron stopped working out for 2 weeks, he'll have the same pudge, man. All right,
LeBron. It's like I always thought Luka was. I always thought Luka was actually in good athletic shape. It's just maybe he ain't defined, but it's like no, he ain't shape.
No, he's just not as chiseled. Same thing with Joker. Joker's kind of a fat ass too. But
but he runs on a treadmill and gets his cardio up, and stuff. So
yeah, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny that he just runs. That Luka is actually he is tubby. He is getting tubby.
Yeah,
it is weird. It's a weird tubbiness that he has.
Yeah,
I'm not going to sit here and act like he's a skinny dude and anything like that. Oh man,
he's skinny fat.
He's tubby. He's skinny. He's been eating he's down in Texas too. He knows what barbecue is at this point. So
you ain't lying.
So I think he's all
drinks a beer or two before going out on the court.
What you say?
He drink a beer or two before going out on the court.
I don't think he's a beer drinker. I don't
know, man.
I think he's a Whataburger. He's a Whataburger enthusiast. That's probably what he is. Thank you. He's gaining mass. He's gaining mass.
He's like a NBA Bob. It's like, yeah, he's big, but he athletic as shit.
Dad bod right now, okay?
Like dad bod is the perfect, dad bod.
I think, and also, we're so used to seeing we're so used to seeing a lot of our superstars being cut and all that. Like a lot of them aren't as cut as you think they are, yeah. A lot of these basketball players, they're skinny. You can see their muscle definition and all the rest of that. A lot of them don't got an 8-pack. A lot of them don't got an 8-pack.
I look at somebody like Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan didn't look like Tim Duncan. Obviously, was athletic, but like you never saw Tim Duncan with no shirt on. Like, not
until he's down in the Bahamas, where he didn't have titties, but they were like not droopy.
He's in his off. It's like what it is. It's like with Steve Amell when he's in the off season at Arrow and he's not defined and he just has the regular dad bod. That was Tim Duncan. Basically, it's like, all right.
Cool. Tim Duncan was never he was never the big muscular dude. I think that's what we were, like I said, we always refer to these guys like they're strong enough. I think Wemby is like Wemby has to be best example of that is actually KD.
Mm-hmm.
KD gained exactly 25 pounds in his last 15 years in the league. So,
but you ain't gonna notice because
even
he's
when
7 foot and skinny, so you don't see it.
I
You know,
like how the first 3 years, he was a flagpole, and then people got off it and started noticing his hair.
yeah, he lifted and yeah, he gained. It's like because I've seen people, especially in high school, that were like tall and skinny, right? But like when you see them in real life, TV makes them look like they're skinny, but when you see them in real life, it's like no, they got muscle on them. They they're big, but it
Yeah.
just TV makes it look like they're like real skinny and shit. I'm like, nah, they're
I think, and also we forget. I think a lot of people don't realize number one, the game is because of the speed of the game. A lot of guys are going to be skinny naturally. They're going to be skinny naturally. So when we see a big guy out there,
like
everybody's
getting no
reacting.
George Mirasan and shit. Where George Mirasan
George
was just a
Mirasan
big
couldn't run.
motherfucking dude.
George couldn't run for shit.
Look how much he weighed though. Like that dude. Like that's
Yeah,
not that's not somebody that's gonna run sprint down the fucking. Like I've been to fucking Bullet/Wizards games. George Mirasan did a brisk speed run down the fucking down the court.
Yeah, granted, it was only 4 steps. He was already on the other side of the court, but still.
It's like you don't expect the George Mirasan of Manute Bol to sprint down the fucking hell.
I
No.
never seen Manute Bol live. I seen
Sean Bradley live.
I seen Sean Bradley live too. Sean was all right. Yeah, I'll be real with you. I think Sean was taller than George Mirasan.
He was.
To keep it real.
He was.
He was
slightly tall. He was slightly taller than George Mirasan.
Speaking of which, what movie was I watching? What movie was that recently? God. It had what's the face in it? Not Michael Cera, my boy. I forgot his name. He was evolved Michael Cera. You know, Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, Jesse
Eisenberg. What?
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, Jesse
Eisenberg. Yeah, he was in it. It was that weird little red pill movie or whatever it was. But George Mirasan was in there. I'm like, hey, George, you're still alive, nigga.
George's out here retired with multiple kids,
doing low key acting roles.
Actually, you know what? The good example of it, Rick Smits and Shaq. Rick Smits was skinny. Shaq was just a big dude. You saw it was night and day when they guarded each other. It was like Jesus Christ. Like
I was telling to my kid too, yeah. Like Shaq, there's Shaq. Shaq had 2 stages. Had only 2 stages. Well, 3 stages when he first got into the league, where he was just a big, athletic looking dude. Then there was Shaq Diesel, where
Lakers
Shaq
era.
was huge, just a big dude. I never seen Shaq live, but he's just a big dude, muscles all gigantic, all that. And then it was Fat Shaq, Shaq on the Boston Celtics,
the Heat Celtics, and the Cavaliers.
When he was on Cleveland, where the famous joke where Kevin Hart said about it, where he felt
no, Shaq admitted as much. Like, yeah, that was my lazy era where I was just like, yo, just give me the ball and I'll just. And he's right, because it's like, who was going to stop Shaq at that point? Nobody. Like, come on.
Bounce back. That's all he did.
Yeah, like, who's stopping him? Like, nobody's going to stop.
Nobody was really stopping him like that. Yeah, you can put a body on. All you're going to do is draw a foul and miss the shot.
But going back to Luka and Dallas, like that series was just like, holy fuck, like that. Like, it's just Dallas I had in my pocket as like my dark horse. Like, I thought it was going to be Denver and Dallas, right? And, Denver was going to beat Dallas, right? And I had to sit back and I was like, yo, that Denver-Dallas series would have actually been pretty interesting too. I don't know if it would have been a sweep on either side, but it would have been interesting.
I don't think it would have been a sweep, but I think a lot of people, first off, it was going to be a matchup nightmare for Dallas because they wouldn't have nobody to check Joker.
Hell no.
That's
even Dallas's tallest guy, I forgot his name, Joker ate him up.
Yeah, what's his name? Dude that got hurt the last game. Not Knightley. What's his name? He got hurt. And they would have had nobody to match up with him. They would have had Joker just killing them in the middle of that court, man. and Joker would have been playing point guard. There was going to be nothing they could do. So it would have been a matchup nightmare.
Derek Lively.
Derek Lively got it. I was like,
Joker would have ate his ass up.
Oh, he would have got 8. He would have.
Gafford would have kind of got 8 too.
Gafford would have definitely got 8. They would have had nothing. They wouldn't have nobody really to slow that nigga down.
Yeah, Dwight Powell, Gafford, and Lively. Joker would have ate them 3. Like, because you can't stop them. It's like, come on, bro. Like, you ain't touching them.
Well, another thing I noticed, give it up to the 6th man of the year, Naz Reid. He was vocal in the first 2 games and did shit for the rest of the thing. They took care of him. Like, you ain't about to come in this game bouncing around, dumping threes left and right like you James Posey and shit. We're not doing that. They took care of him, man. They made sure that they minimalized whatever he did coming off that bench. Dallas played so smart with him, man.
Also, Minnesota had no answer for PJ Washington because when he got his threes in, he knew where he needed to be at to shoot the
because
three.
He was doing something they couldn't do, hit threes. They weren't hitting nothing from the 3-point line.
Yep. Like I knew
that was hitting anything from the 3-point line. I think was Kyle Anderson. I think he was the only one that was actually doing anything. And even then, he didn't do nothing, man. Which I loved how Kyle Anderson came off the bench. By the way, fun fact I learned about Kyle Anderson, and I haven't really investigated. Do you know he's actually on the Chinese national team?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, he is. But
the communist Chinese national team.
Do you know, it's funny to me because everybody gets on Joel Embiid for being on the United States team, which I gotta get. Like, Joel, you could just go for your country, but you're being smart. Nah, nigga, I want my goal.
Because let's be real. Who else is on the France team other than Embiid that's going to help him? Wembley probably would have. Wemby and Embiid. That would have been
actually. Would Joel be on the French team? Was he?
He's Cameroonian. He would have been on the French
team.
No,
that's what he was drilling. Why he want to be on the Cameroonian team? Like, so he could be the only nigga out there? I don't think they're the best team in Africa.
Fuck no.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's the best team in Africa.
You really think he want to waste his time going there and be like, yay, and then get bopped out?
Meanwhile, I don't know his setup. I don't know how he got it out there, but Kyle's on the Chinese team. Ain't nobody saying nothing, though.
Who's on the Chinese team?
Only nigga on the Chinese team. Ain't nobody saying that.
Who's on the Chinese team?
Huh?
Who's on the Chinese team?
Kyle Anderson.
Get out of here.
I'm not bullshitting you.
For the Olympics, he's playing for them.
Type in Chinese national team.
Kyle Anderson. Hold up. Kyle Anderson.
You're going to see it. He's on the Chinese national team. Just type in the Chinese national team, you're gonna see that. Like, wait a minute, why is he on the?
Okay, I'm gonna be real for a second. It's gonna sound fucked up. It's the Kristen Crook thing with me when I see Kyle Anderson because I'm like, I don't see not a speck of Asian in you for me to believe that you are Asian American. And I know that's fucked up to say.
American Chinese point guard, nigga.
I know that's fucked up to say, but it's like. Your blackness like superseded the Asian part of you. It's like whoever was Asian, whether it was your mom or dad, it's like genetics said, fuck that shit. It's over.
No. I'm sorry. We say whether it's your mom or dad, you know it's the dad. You know the dad is the black one. You know the dad is the black side. So
your mom's Asian side, your dad's genetics said, fuck that side and just went over it. Because I'm looking at him like, I thought you were black, like 100%. You just light-skinned black dude, right? And I'm like,
Anderson's mother is Jamaican. Her father was Chinese and married a Jamaican.
Huh?
Yeah, Chinese Jamaicans, which is a very, very real thing.
That's I knew.
A real thing. But wait a minute. So how did he get to be on there? Because his dad is half Chinese? Is that how they go? Like, I'm kind of confused on that.
I mean, good luck, Kyle. I mean, hey, you don't make the USA Olympic team, you might as well just, go to them. Go to
them. With a whole lot of niggas named Zhao. So
hey, you might luck out and you might, get what's his face?
Might make the semifinals.
Hey, Lynn Sanity might be on your team, maybe.
Lynn ain't on that team. Lynn ain't on that team.
Hey,
and look. That's the one thing I know about. Lynn was a thing that happened.
I think he caught a bad break to me because I feel like he was really good at the right time for the Knicks, and I think the organization did him dirty for no fucking reason.
I don't think it's so much they did him dirty. I think what happened was, well, yeah, number one, they did do him dirty. I will agree. Number two, the league figured out what type of point guard he was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the magic that he had only lasted 1 year. It reminded me of that 1 year where somebody will say fucking where, but it reminded me of the 1 year where Raymond Felton was actually yanking niggas. I know what you just said when it happened 1 year he was on the Bobcats. I wasn't saying that he was killing everybody, but he was cooking a few niggas, yeah.
Got a moment.
It reminded me of that.
Raymond
yes,
Felton.
He's in the G League right now. Yes, he is, bro. He's in the G League. Also, just chilling right there.
Raymond Felton. Now, there's a name I haven't heard in years.
Boy, I can hit y'all with some old point guards that we just forgot.
Hey, Raymond Felton, I only remember because of his tenure under Roy Williams in North Carolina.
Yeah. I remember.
And he was good in North Carolina. Like, if you played for North Carolina and Duke, you were in good company. If Roy Williams or Coach K.
I can still say that now for North Carolina and Duke. You go to them, man. North Carolina, Duke. Here's the thing. Gonzaga is a great school. Don't produce a lot 50-50. Of superstars, but it's a great school to go
Georgetown, to. 50-50.
Georgetown, hell no. You're not doing shit. You're not going shit. The most you're going to go is G League right now. It's been bad the last few years. It's been bad the last 10-something years. Jeff Green and Roy Hibbert was the last good ones to leave. Actually, I think it was somebody after him. I don't want to say that. It was somebody else that left
there. Jeff Green. That's another guy I haven't heard in years.
Shit, man. Why you forget? Like, you can't forget him. Jeff Green not only is the little fun thing I figured out, I got to see because we're both 40, yeah. So I was like, who's in our age range of the elder millennials? Year 5 on back. Who's 35 on back? And I look down at that list and I'm just like, wow, PJ, Jeff Green. Jeff is still here. We should know Jeff because Jeff is from our area. But KD, Steph, all them, like, y'all the vets now. And then I look at the finals, it's like, wow, ain't none of us over here no more. I mean, hey, look. Patrick was running up a hill with ice skates on, and it was a muddy hill. There was nothing.
I'll just say this: one guy me and D went to school with, Clinton Crouch. He helped during that tenure, and he low key kind of said the same thing you said a little bit, but he said it in a very nice way because hey, he coached that team, so it's just like, hey, it was there, it was fun.
George, that last good person they produced was actually what's the name? White boy that won the dunking contest, and he even played at Georgetown all the way.
Because
McClung,
yeah, 2 years ago, back to back.
Yeah, that motherfucker. He was the last. Like, I'll say this, it was so funny. I was telling my mother-in-law we was watching the dunk, and she was like, "It's like who that little white boy? He Georgetown. That's what he is." I mean, not really, but he Georgetown though. Not really. He transferred. He hopped in that portal. I don't blame him.
But nah. Going back though, like I think the finals being set to the Mavs and Celtics, it could be a good series. I think more than anything else, though, if I'm looking, I think there's put it this way, there's more pressure, honestly, on the Celtics than the Mavs because if you think about it in a way, I would say the Celtics had an easier time going to the finals.
Yes, they did.
Than the Mavs did, and it's not a knock on the Celtics because they handle business. I think that's what good teams do. They handle business.
They had to.
They do what they do. But it's like if y'all don't win this fucking championship, the clowning that's gonna happen is gonna be like astronomical.
And let me put it back on him. Let me put it back on Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, if nobody has recognized this, has had a career so far comparable to LeBron's, where he's been having very great early success. Been to this point where he's just been scoring. He scores a lot. He's a huge factor to the Celtics, man. And it always kills me how we always hit this thing of who's more important, Tatum or Jaylen Brown. No knock on Jaylen Brown.
It's Tatum. Jaylen Brown is, I hate to say it, he's the Pippen to Tatum's Jordan.
He's the Joe Dumars. That makes
Joe Dumars. Yes,
Joe Dumars.
Like Jalen. Here's the thing about Jalen. Jalen is a guy, he's guaranteed to get in double figures, but like it ain't hitting the same way that Tatum's hits.
No.
Now, Jalen Brown is still a valuable asset to the Celtics. Do not get it twisted. Very valuable asset. It's just Tatum is that dude.
What I see with the Celtics is, and number one, like you just said, they took care of business. They had to. They had to go against a Pacers team who was losing everybody. Halliburton got hurt. Everybody got hurt on that team.
They fought. Look, let me tell you something. The Pacers were throwing hands to the end in all 4 of them games, and they're like, "Nah, we ain't going down without a fight." Because I mean, the Celtics swept the series, but the scores was always they won by 2 or 3 points, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, these games were really goddamn close. Shit.
I would like, all right. I would say 2 of those games it was kind of too close for comfort. In the other 2 games, especially game 4, don't let it fool you. Don't let that score fool you. The Pacers didn't have no hold on this game. Don't let it fool you. I'll agree. I agree. Especially game 3, I will give them game 3 because Celtics won that. But you look over your shoulder and you see Celtics missing an eyeball, blood coming out. Look. The gi is ripped off. Hey, yo, the Celtics.
I hear no bell.
Like, I will give them that. They went out like some soldiers. If I was a coach of that team or a fan of that team, I wouldn't be no proud of that squad, bro.
But I feel they ran into the same issue that happened with Minnesota. You exuded all your energy knocking out the Knicks. And I'm not saying they in the Minnesota, they exuded all the energy knocking out the Nuggets and was like, yes, fuck, we got the Mavs. Pacers, yes, we beat the Knicks, and you got the Celtics.
But I can't take this shit no more, man.
That's exactly what happened.
It's exactly what happened.
Because when they beat the crap out of the Knicks game 7, I was like, well, fuck. And then I was like, oh, but you got the Celtics, and they've been sitting on the sidelines waiting. I mean, like, and that's what happens. Like,
and look, and better yet, it ain't the same team. It ain't the same team. The Knicks were just as banged up as you were, and you're dealing with the Knicks team.
The Pacers, they would have got molly. They put it this way, the ratings would have been good. Knicks versus Celtics, but the Celtics would have mollywopped the Knicks.
Oh, they would have choked them out. They would have choked them out. There was none they couldn't do either. It would have been Jaylen Brown, not Jaylen Brown. It would have been Brunson. Brunson looking mad and light skinned like he was on at the end of Game 7 of the last series. Just, I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing else. Like, as far as the Pacers are though, and I'm going to go back and say the same thing about the Minnesota real quick, but I think the Pacers. They had a great season. Great season. I felt like they punched out of their weight class all season. They had an all-star game they had the all-star game in Indiana. They looked good out there. They won their little thing out there and all that. They looked like a team. That's the one thing I really liked about them. They looked like a team. Yep. So, yeah, real talk. I meant that. If you are a fan of the Pacers, or you are on or the coach of that team, you should give them a standing ovation. They played their fucking heart out. Now, that being said, though, no, they weren't ready. They weren't ready. No. They weren't ready. The only reason why you hear is because the 76ers fucked up. And the fucking Knicks couldn't beat you, man. The people on the Knicks got hurt, you know? So that's the only reason why you hear, man.
Yeah, I mean, because let's be real, playoffs always boils down to keeping your players healthy. That's really what it is. And I think the Celtics did a good job of it. And I'll even give the Mavs did a pretty good job of keeping their players healthy. And I think that's probably what ran under the radar of a lot of people with not really counting the Mavs, because we look at I'm going to say this. I think the Mavs are kind of in the same position that they were when Dirk was playing and they went on that championship run where Dirk had a good supporting cast that help them get them in, and the Mavs actually have a good supporting cast that can uphold their end of the bargain and keeping shit
very
close.
Similar. Yeah, it is very similar, man, where it's just like, it ain't so much that the team is great. It's just that they got an ensemble of people that are actually fucking working for them. And yeah, a couple of breaks. The only big break you can say is that they didn't have to face the Nuggets. Minnesota, if you're a fan of Minnesota, you should be happy what you got because you are dealing with a dude who didn't even get through all of stage 1 of his first form yet.
He got to the final of stage 1, so it's like, all right,
seriously. Shit. What we seen in this one, if I could make a comparison to Dragon Ball, this version of Anthony Edwards was when Guru put his hand on Gohan. Yeah, and Gohan had that boost where Vegeta was like, "When did all this happen?"
Yeah, you think you can take me, huh? All right, cool. Try your best there, cool.
buddy. So what happened, D? Luca was Raccoon and kicked that nigga right in the head.
See, you ain't shit, because that really would have been Dan Hibiki versus Akuma. Oh God.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
God, don't get. What was that? Fuck out of here.
Fuck the Knicks!
Let me ask you this. Can you imagine? Like, LeBron's going to free agency. I think we said last week that, he probably will go back to the Lakers. Can you imagine if he said, fuck it, I'll take the minimum, put me on the Timberwolves?
Nah. I will say this. I would be scared if he took the minimum and go to it sounds stupid, but I'll be mad. Well, no, he would have fit well.
What?
But yeah, I'd be scared if he went to the Knicks. But I don't think he
Nigga.
I don't think he will fit because I think he'll be a number 2 on that team. And I think they would have to give. I think somebody would have to leave. I think one of them, DiVincenzo or fucking Josh, will have to fucking leave. Somebody's leaving.
Yeah,
because we're making room for LeBron and Bronny here. So
gotta make room for the future. Bronny, the future, the Knicks.
I have not heard nothing from Bronny, so I heard Bronny.
Other than him putting himself in for the NBA draft, basically confirmed finally.
But we're left with the Knicks and I'm not Knicks. The Knicks, the Celtics and the Mavericks. I will say this, and this is what I can say, that I think the Mavericks have a good chance of probably winning all of this in 6.
Mm-hmm.
I will not be surprised if it drags out to 7 games.
I can see that. I
would not be surprised.
It's funny seeing people really try to play down, like, oh, I'm not interested in the Mavs and Celtics and shit. Because, again, people were doing this goofy ass shit in the NBA playoffs because it ain't the sexy NBA finals. And I'm like, just if you're a fan of basketball, you should like this. Like, yeah, would it suck if it turned into like a fucking blowout, like sweep in the finals? Sure. Like, I'll give you that. But like, if it turns into like a good like series, it's like, oh, okay, shit. Cool.
The worst thing that's the worst thing you can have if it's a sweep.
Yeah.
That is the worst thing in the world. If there's a sweep in the finals, that's a work.
It's like watching like the Super Bowl and one team is sweeping the other ones. You're kind of like, well, it's kind of like, what year was it? Dallas had won the Super Bowl over the Bills, and they beat the shit out of the Bills in the Super Bowl. Was it the second time they went?
Actually, no. Yeah, I think you're talking about the Steelers when we faced the Steelers, and the Steelers kept shooting themselves in the foot, and by the time it was like over by the third quarter.
Yeah,
like that's different. See, those finals are Super Bowls are different because that's a little bit different.
Here's the funny thing: Mark Cuban doesn't own the Mavericks. He's just chilling, sitting back, just watching the new.
He's not the owner no more.
Yeah, the other guy took over. I want to say during the playoffs. Like during the lead up into the playoffs, he ended up taking over, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, because when they were handing out the trophies, they didn't give it to Cuban. They gave it to the other guy who took over.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the guy's name, but he took over.
Is he the owner? Let's see. No, he still owns it. Sells out Mavericks. Oh, he did sell the Mavericks.
Yeah, he doesn't have controlling interest in the Mavs anymore.
He retained 25% ownership of the team.
Yeah, but there's somebody else that's actually the guy. I forgot the guy's name, but he was actually at the thing, receiving the trophy and stuff.
That
And I
makes
was
sense.
like, oh, okay, cool. That makes because everybody thinks that Mark. I was like, no, I think Mark Cuban doesn't own it. He's just. I think it was like he does kind of like sit back and just watch the day-to-day operations, but he isn't. The controlling interest isn't as much as it was previously. So if he has 25%, then yeah, that lines up. Because also tax reasons. So because you need those, you need that and stuff. So yeah, there's that. On the NFL side of things, actually, back up for a second. NBA, what's his face? Drew Gordon died, car accident last night. Yeah, car accident. Um,
Are you serious?
yeah, Aaron Gordon's older brother died, car accident, 33 years old. Yeah, he got in the car accident last night. There's no more details so far, because they're still obviously investigating it, but it was a car accident last night.
No, that's rough. Vaguely remember Drew. I vaguely remember Drew.
I mean, I remember his tenure on the
that was Aaron.
76ers.
That's what I'm saying. I barely remember him. I knew it. Yeah, of course we know his little brother, but yeah.
So
man,
yeah,
that's
RIP,
rough.
man. That's
sad, bro.
yeah.
That's rough, bro. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now,
Real,
go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, NFL. I had to bring this up because Drew Brees. It's funny. It's a very old man thing to say. Basically, he was like, if his arm wasn't giving him problems, he felt that he had another 3 years left in him to play in the NFL. And I'm kind of like, maybe.
I won't disagree.
But I felt like Drew, to me, had a window where he could have like gotten somewhere, and it just closed on him. Like,
I don't know. Those last 2 years showed me that number one, I felt like the organization was waiting for you to wrap it up anyway. Because we're seeing what they're going through right now, I felt like you kind of hampered them to think they can still run it the way they did. Because I don't know, man. Drew, I don't know. That doesn't sound like an old man thing to say. Of course, any player would say that, so whatever. Yeah. We didn't talk about this last time, so let's keep it very, very brief, Chris.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. I didn't do fucking shit.
Yeah, my man said that out of pocket shit, and funny enough, I don't really hear much of anybody talking about it anymore, which tells you how much of a nothing burger. I can say a nothing burger, but it's a nothing burger basically. It's like, oh, okay.
Harrison Buckner.
It'll probably get brought up. It'll probably get brought up during the season. I can see that.
I like how everybody was. First off, we can't the one thing that gets me is that we can't expect every player of any sport to have your freaking ideals.
It will never happen.
I always hate that because of like their political reason, like their political views is the reason why you don't watch the game. That's so stupid to me. That means you never watched it in the first place. Like I hear people say that about NASCAR. You don't care about NASCAR. Don't do that.
It's like if you think about it, right? OJ has said some very questionable Black Republican things, right? But at the same time, I'm not like on some fuck OJ. It's like, nah, look at his age, look who he is. That tracks. Like, what the fuck am I going to sit there and get mad about? Like, and it's the same thing with him. It's like, yeah, that tracks. Okay, cool. Like,
Harrison Buckner looked like a white. He looked like, I thought here's my thing. I let anybody say their religious viewpoint, whether how conservative it may be, let them have it. They're Ned Flanders. Leave them alone. You know what I mean? I think the fun part for me with Harrison is that he kept on digging a hole. And it sounds like, no, I admit that. Why? Just have a baby.
The statement alone was just hilarious because it was peak white. Like, can we just get back to the 40s and 50s? I'm like, well, first off, sir, you're already showing your whiteness right there by saying that. So I'm like,
and I feel bad for niggas. Like I feel bad for Patrick Mahomes because they're throwing mics in his face, and Patrick, like, I barely talked to this fool, man. Like, y'all leave me alone.
He's like that dude. He's treating the dude like the co-worker.
I just need him to kick right.
Yeah, I don't care. We're not hanging out having beers. I don't give a
God,
fuck.
man, like y'all need to like. And that's another thing. Everybody like, oh, well, he said that. Are you going to kick him off the team or something? Yeah, you should, because he should have that viewpoint. Here's my thing, and I hate being this person. Unless he puts his hands on a woman, that is the only time I think you should take action. And here's the worst part about that. I'm kind of 50-50 on that. Just a little bit.
That's my thing.
Greg Hardy, getting the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? I
I'll
get
be
it.
honest with you.
Hold on. How long ago did he choke her? That was 5 years ago. Put it back on.
I swear, bro, when Dallas got Greg Hardy, I was sitting back like, I felt like the fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm shit where he's like weighing his options. It's like Dallas, like, he's a good player. He's efficient, but he hit women.
Boy, I like what Dallas did, though. I love what Dallas did, though. That motherfucking Greg showed up, came in that joint like, hey. He's like, all right, I'm here to resign. I'm gonna take care of that love for you, son. That's a no. We're not gonna have you back here. Dallas Cowboys love what you did for the organization.
Good season, son. Good season, son. We got in the playoffs, but we're good. We're good.
See, I thought you played the defensive line very, very brilliantly, but you can do that at a different team. We just need you for the time being.
Because we had injuries, and you know how this is. You know
how this works, boy. Keep calling him boy like that too. Like keep calling like that. Well, look, he's like, this is racist shit. Yeah, well, it is, but you beat women, so I think we're even.
Yeah,
think we're even. I can call you the N-word because you just love punching. Punching the female.
What you think of that, Dak? I think of it's great, Jerry.
Oh God.
Because the word racist is getting ready to come out of your mouth. It's going to be a real big issue with me.
That's Jerry Jones every year. Every single year. Okay.
Oh God,
Harrison Ball.
They haven't figured out Dak's contract this season still, so that's in limbo. Which I'm pretty sure they'll figure it out. That Dak's being optimistic as he can. That's what you do.
I meant to get a picture of it, but real quickly, it's a beautiful thing that we've seen this week. Major League Baseball finally is integrating the stats from the Negro League.
It's great.
And what we're finding out is that Josh Gibson was one of the greatest players that ever lived. And what we're also finding out is a whole bunch of white people want to move a goalpost saying, well, it was only exclusive to black people. That's not fair.
Also, Ty Cobb right now.
Okay. Like I said, Chris, I am so questioning everything about Ty Cobb because they're saying that the autobiographers that wrote that crap about him being a racist weren't true. And he kept on bringing up these examples of, I like the blacks when it comes to Ty Cobb.
So he's diet racist.
I don't know what to believe.
Look. I would say this. I'm pretty sure he was diet racist. All right, I can see that.
No. He from Georgia. He said the N-word like water. I don't care. But
it's funny how here's the argument that had all of us rolling, right? There was like, it was a Negro Leagues. It was watered down compared to the MLB. Here's where I had to sit there and stop. I was like, stop for a second. Jackie Robinson in the Negro Leagues was a smooth 80. Right? There were better players than Jackie Robinson. We know that for a fact, right? Jackie Robinson in MLB went from an 80 to a 95. And you're going to tell me the MLB wasn't watered? Get the fuck out of here, bro.
I stand by what I said. Man, Ted Williams was the best hitter of all time. He ain't get a pitch for one Negro player.
Thank you.
Satchel Paige wasn't on the mound when he had to deal with him. Same thing go with Babe Ruth. Same thing go with Mickey Mantle. Same thing go with Ty Cobb.
Let me tell you something.
Y'all didn't face no black players.
If the Negro Leagues never happened and integration is a thing, we would not be talking about Babe Ruth today. Babe Ruth would be a footnote. He'd just be like,
Babe Ruth would have been a really great player.
John Goodman would be playing the Babe. That movie wouldn't even exist.
It would have been none of that. What I like about it is, Chris, is that it disrupted what people loved and believed what baseball, what the MLB was.
Mhm.
This was one of the sins that they had to correct because they knew because they really downplayed a lot of great careers
Mhm.
because of all that shit, man. Like I said, you had then like that, like we everybody talks about the motherfucking Brooklyn Dodgers and the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Yankees, and all that. No, Kansas City Monarchs. Kansas City Monarchs was probably one of the greatest teams that ever existed.
I got to be real. It's making me have to actually look at my family on my dad's side that was playing in the league and be like, did y'all have like records that's in the MLB now? I need to check that shit now. I'm like, okay.
I don't know if any of your family had made it up to the majors or made it up to because I don't think there was a minor league system in the Negro League. I think there was, but I don't think
It might
was
have been,
like that.
but yeah, I gotta
But
check
still.
now. Now I'm like, let me check this shit and see if they at least in it. Cause actually I got the numbers up here. So
All right.
career ops, OPS leaders, Josh Gibson pretty much leads it. It used to be Babe Ruth, and now it's Josh Gibson.
On base percentage. He had a better on base percentage than him. Good Lord, man.
Oscar Charleston beat out Barry Bonds. That's interesting.
Well, no. So that's a good thing. Barry Bonds is already up there, man. He over there smiling anyway, but better than Lou Gehrig, better than Ted Williams,
Woo.
bro. They already told you right there. You got all that yellow right there, just telling you that the Negro League was all over that shit, man. The
Then you get
Homestead
this.
Grays was nothing. The Homestead Grays, which pretty much the Washington Grays,
Mhm.
best team, one of the best teams too. Josh Gibson beating out Babe Ruth in slugging percentage, huh? God damn, man. The only black person you see up there was motherfucking Barry Bonds again, because Barry Bonds was a freak of nature.
But Josh Gibson beat
Roy
out.
did freak of nature, but Reed of nature.
Yeah.
He did it. No, Barry Bonds is so good. He already had a high percentage before he did the Royds anyway.
That's how good he was. That's how good he was. But like, yo, career slugging leaders, Josh Gibson beat out Babe Ruth, and it's like, yo, nobody's ever gonna top that shit.
Chunk of that percentage too, man. And people's like, well, he didn't have to deal with MLB pitching. I'm like, don't do that shit. Don't do that shit.
Right. Like you said, Josh had to fucking go against like great fucking black pitchers.
He had to deal with some of the meanest black pitchers out there. You know? I don't want to hear about that shit. What other one we got?
Career OBP leaders, yeah, Ted Williams still got it, but just the fact that Josh Gibson is still like Buck Leonard, Oscar.
Buck Leonard was actually Buck Leonard is another person I'm still trying to learn about his whole life too. I don't know much
Joe
about
Wilson a lot though. I need to look him up.
I ain't never heard of I gotta check out who's Oscar Charleston. I don't know who that is. I gotta really look
His
him
career
up.
batting average. That's the one right
But
there.
that's the big one right here. This is the big one here, the career batting average, bro. And the fact that I had to hear all my life that Ted Williams is one of the best at that shit. Fuck out of here. He's better than Ty Cobb by a good chunk too.
Ted Williams got dropped down so bad. It's like, god damn.
They cut your head off for no reason, homie. You weren't even that great.
But just the bending over backwards of folks really trying to discount that shit. I'm like, nah, y'all can't do this shit. Nah, y'all can't sit there and say the Negro Leagues are watered down. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It's just like, yo, racism was basically like, nah, y'all got your own league over here. And then for Jackie Robinson to come into MLB and wipe the floor with everybody, it's like, yeah, this is what you were fearing. You were fearing black people mollywopping y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah, straight up. And I think it's but like I said, I think it's finally a thing that baseball had to do for a long time, and they've been recognizing it for a while. And I will give it up to baseball; they were quiet about it. This is about like a 10-year process that they had to do.
Yeah, it really felt because
they were being quiet about it, but they was letting everybody know we're really seriously thinking about integrating these stats because. For a long time, they didn't have the stats. Just real talk. Just a long time, they didn't have the stats.
How hard it
However
is.
way they had to dig it up, they found them and got them. You know what I mean?
Because you're talking somebody had to go to the library and go deep in the archives and get the microfiche shit. Because we're laughing, but somebody did that shit. They combed the entire United States and had to find these numbers. That's how hard it is to get these numbers. Even like my grandfather playing for the Bowie, for the Mitchellville Black Sox, when they did the park induction and stuff, they had to like find the numbers and who played for that team. Like that's some shit. Like they had to go through the Bowie and Mitchellville library system and all that stuff just to find pictures.
Yeah. You're going through history, and no, this is still paper. None of this is digitized.
And that's hard too. Finding the actual hard copy papers, you got to get in contact with family members to see if they still got the pictures.
Oh, that's a
That's
good
a
part, and
lot.
that's another one too, because some of these are lost. It's a lot of the. That's the real sicker part of all this. There's still
You got to
a
hope the
chunk of
family is
history.
still alive and they kept the pictures. That's the
Dog,
other.
there's still a chunk of the history of the Negro League that they have not put in there anyway, huh?
Mhm.
And this is what they could find. And also, and keep it real, I think there had to be a little bit of optimizing too. Like you see a really, really high number in Negro League, it's like, all right, bring it in. like even if you're black, it's like, who was pitching?
You laugh, but if I find out, like, nigga, if I find out, I'll be like, yo, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Like
Nobody told me this.
Also, yeah, and since you mentioned that, we also got to mention that there was only certain sections of the country that were letting black people play baseball anyway.
Mhm.
Like Kansas City, Atlanta had a team. I don't think they had some people had just the lead just in the side of the state and shit like that. So there's ways to
Like
separate.
Midwest is tricky because Midwest were still keeping the party going on on segregation and shit and stuff. So they were like, nah, you can't play baseball in Montana.
Well. Looks like all the coons got together and said, let's play a baseball game. Do you know what a baseball is, boy? I bet y'all gonna catch with your big old nigger fingers. You don't need a glove. And then these dudes go out there and start doing 1990 style baseball.
I mean, just but this is you know what? I kind of figured, like you said, it feels like it was definitely 10 years in the making. I think when I saw, was it this year or last year when they had the MLB game, the show with the Negro League stuff?
That was last year.
When they had that, I kind of had a sneaking feeling. I'm like, if they're doing this, they must be doing something big for the Negro Leagues in some way.
What really started it was the fact that when they opened up when they opened up the Negro League Museum.
Oh,
and that's in Kansas City, and I've been told by several people, well, at least two people, go there, and I want to go there one day. I will.
Me too.
I don't know what. I'm not. This is not a diss to Kansas City. I just don't know when I'm going to ever show up in that city. But I
just have excuse me. I'm just like, I'm gonna try the Kansas City barbecue, and then I'll check out the Negro League Museum.
Those are two attractions. But Chris? Who do I know that lives there for me to?
You're right. You are right.
I got family in Wichita, Oklahoma, and Texas. Ain't none of the niggas in motherfucking Kansas City. So
it's like, hey, honey, let's vacation in Kansas City. Really?
Going to Kansas City. I've told her the wife, like, hey, baby, finally got on vacation. Where we going? We going to Florida, California, Kansas City.
Oh, no, my girl will look at me sideways like, you couldn't even find a beach. Is there a beach in Kansas City?
No. This answer. The fuck is in Kansas City?
Pretty much.
Again, not a diss to anybody from Kansas City or the Midwest.
I'm sure it's a night. Look, I've heard Kansas City has a dope nightlife, especially from NBA.
I heard it's pretty nice out there. Yeah, and we all know about the barbecue out there. I never had authentic Kansas City barbecue. That would be interesting though. I'm not going to fake on that.
Hey,
I would love to have
authentic.
Not just this is Kansas City style. No, I'm actually in Kansas City eating a motherfucking chicken bone. You know what I mean?
Swagoo was live on ESPN donishing that barbecue. It's that like good ass barbecue. And he was on hot mic and shit. I was like, yo, that's how you know the barbecue banking. I gotta come back here. I gotta come back here for this shit.
No, I would love to know. All right, I just hopped on the show real quick just to see who they got the little episodes of who's who and all the rest of that, right?
Yeah.
Just for some replay. Satchel Paige, Hilton Smith, Rube Foster. Rube Foster is pretty much the black Babe Ruth, like a big old black dude. He played for Chicago. He bad nigga, yeah. Hank Thompson, who's cool as hell, man. Buck O'Neal. And that was a cool little story that I hear from white boy that's on Fox. Everybody kind of hate and like at the same time. You know, little white boy got what the hater.
Shit.
Dude,
I barely watch
that
Fox
kinda
as is, so I'm like kind of blanking.
You know, dude, the kind of dick rides on LeBron. You know who I'm talking about?
Oh, Skip.
Yeah? Huh?
Skip.
Not Skip. I said dick rides. Skip hates him.
I mean, hating LeBron is still dick riding a little bit if you think about it.
I got you. But anyway, but he told a story about him and how his dad knew Buck O'Neil, and how Buck O'Neil was like he thought the dude was amazing.
Oh, from First Things First.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
about. Nick Wright.
Yeah, Nick Wright. Yeah, Nick Wright.
Yeah, Nick Wright. I'll do that off. Yeah, but anyway, he was talking about how he knew who Buck O'Neil was and all the rest. It was a cool little story, huh? I have a weird connection to the Negro League. I know, white guy. Let me tell you, I personally knew who Buck O'Neil was as a kid, so. That's cool as hell, man. They got Buck O'Neil, Jackie Robinson, John Donaldson, which I tell anybody, look this Negro up. Nobody knows much about him, man. Mm-hmm. He is one of the most forgotten stars, but John Donaldson is a whoo. You be like, who? What are you? Why is nobody talking about you? Martin DeHigo. Martin DeHigo. I think he was actually Spanish, but Negro League because you're brown. That's what
I need to know. I really want to know. Like, is there what database that people can go to check out the Negro League stats? Because that's something I really want to check out and see. Like, where is it at that people can see it? Because that would be nice to actually look at, and maybe people can find somebody that's their relative that was there possibly. Like that'd be nice to see.
Seeing that the Negro League closed up, it was in the 60s or the 50s they stopped doing it. It was like the 50s. I think it went totally bankrupt in the 60s.
48.
48? Wow.
Yeah, so Negro League, so you're talking 1920 and 1948.
God, so right after the war ended.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right,
cool. That's a lot, man.
Like, yeah, that is a lot. That is a lot.
That's why I was just like,
and then it's going back. Nigga, this is 100 years at this point. It's going back to find stats there in the 80s and 70s.
So I'm reading up on it. So they got assistance from Seamhead, which Seamhead.com. It's so I'm looking on the site right now. Seamhead is the Negro League. That's where they got the stats from there. And also Retro Sheet. That's another place that they got some of it from. And a couple other sources. So they really they went through a lot to find that shit.
And because it's baseball, baseball has a weird way of don't take offense when I say this, anybody. There are a lot of highly autistic motherfuckers that love baseball stats. Mm-hmm. So for some people, you just had to get 5 good people. No. I love this shit. Let's make sure. Let's get their on batting percentages correct. Let's get this correct. Let's find out what their WAR percentage was. Let's see how many times this, because there's so many stats in baseball to keep up with and all the rest of that. There's some people they love doing this shit. Mm-hmm. And baseball that remember, Chris, there's a YouTube page that's dedicated to everybody's swing, every time they're on base, every time they do this. There are websites that you can just say, Wade Boggs against the Orioles, 1987. It will bring up all the times he played the Orioles then, and every instance of what happened on the base. So that being, like I said, it's highly autistic.
You can't bring up Wade Boggs because I'm automatically thinking It's Always Sunny in those 2 episodes and shit. Immediately, I was like, oh my God.
I love how that is actually a real story. Only the 80s could produce a story like that. A Wade Boggs drinking all those beers, then getting on the field and crushing it. Only the 80s can bring you some stories like that.
That is
we don't make people like that no more, man.
That is like when we get people nowadays talk about, you remember the days of men. That's the shit they're talking about. Is that shit? Like it's that kind of shit. I have to
be honest with you. That's some manly ass shit.
Like we ain't talking like, beating women. Nah, that's fucked up. Nah. We're talking. You down a 30-pack of beer and said, "Fuck it, let's play some ball."
We're talking about when Haku got into the fight with police and was literally picking them up and throwing them. like real man shit.
Technically, our man Schefter in golf did some man shit too. He got thrown in jail and came back out and golfed. I'm like, it's kind of managed a little bit.
Like, yo, there's some gangster man shit you hear, man. And I think that's why some people love this. Like, as a person that had the flu and played basketball, that played basketball when he was having the flu, yeah, that's why I respect the flu game so much. Even though he didn't run the flu, he got stomach poison. That's a little bit different. But even then, that's still impressive. You know what I mean?
I mean,
like and that's why some people love that story with Brett Favre, when Brett went out there and played football the night his dad died. Because that takes real strength. You know what I mean?
We talked about that with Isaiah Thomas, when he was with the Celtics and his sister died, and he
when his sister
went out and played and got the Celtics to the playoffs.
It takes real strength to go out there and have one of your best things ever. Like shit, actually, when my sister passed away, when we came back from our little break, after my sister passed away, and we did one of my favorite episodes to this day was when we did Rocky 3. I can see in the episode while I'm sitting there, and I can tell that's when I'm thinking about my sister. That's when I'm feeling like I'm screaming in my head. But if you look at that episode, oh my God, it's one of our funniest episodes ever. It's it's always cool when you see somebody take pain or take an obstacle and go, fuck it. Mm-hmm. That's why we love the Wade Boggs story of him getting ripped on that play, getting on the ground, and commits to hitting 2 home runs.
Now,
like nothing.
Change of pace here. Hockey. I've been keeping up. All right. It's looking like we might end up getting an Oilers versus Panthers Stanley Cup Finals.
I'm sorry, the Panthers are still in it?
Oh, Panthers are leading over the Rangers.
Because of the NBA. I haven't.
They're leading over the Rangers. They're leading over the Rangers 3-2 in the series. And they
right now it's 2-2 Stars and the Oilers. They're tied 2-2.
I got the Oilers eking out that one though, from what I've been seeing so far.
And like you said, Rangers and Panthers, and the Panthers. Ooh, golly! I don't want New York to get there. Why? Because fuck the Rangers.
Hey, this is my capital, so
much like the Knicks, Yankees, and Rangers. I don't want y'all to have no success.
The only
maybe the Islanders. The Islanders are cool. What about the Mets? The Mets are never going to win. The Mets are never.
The only team that we kind of sort of get a slide to it's the Giants, and that's only because they beat the Patriots twice. So
actually, I'm sorry, I'm a true Cowboys fan. Fuck the Giants. All right?
True.
What about the Jets? Much like the Mets. They're never going to win.
You can try.
No, I get worried when the Jets get good. No, seriously. I'm not even kidding you. I get worried when the Jets get good.
The year down.
Something's going. That's like, remember when, you know how everybody, people like me, that say that the world went crazy when Harambe got shot. If the Jets do good and make it past the wild card in the playoffs, something ain't right with the universe. I feel. Yo, man, the Mets can get as far as they want. They can't win the World Series. That's how I feel about the Mets. Yeah, but they can make it there. No, let them make it there. They can't win it though. They're not allowed to win. Not in my book.
If we end up getting the Panthers and Oilers, though, that's going to be the one where the Canadians are going to really come out in full force if the Oilers get to the Stanley Cup, including Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky going to be up in the stands during them games, like, oh shit, Gretzky's here.
Wayne Gretzky looks funny in the face now, man. Doesn't he?
He's old. Like he's an old white guy now.
Keeperish, isn't he?
Want people to understand something. There was a moment in sports where Gretzky and Jordan were on the same even path, and look, I ate it up because that was my intro into hockey, Wayne Gretzky, because I was like, who's this Wayne Gretzky guy? And then boom, because and look, that was probably the best thing for hockey was having Wayne Gretzky as like the face.
Because you actually had somebody that could be a face out there like that, yeah.
I know hockey connoisseurs poo-poo Wayne Gretzky. I understand that. I get it because they feel he's very overrated. Very understandable.
You know what? And here's the funny thing about that. I think that As little as I do know about hockey, I know enough to I actually kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I get it
Wing
because it's
refing
like,
may be a little bit overrated.
yeah, and I get it, right? So it's like that was just a moment where I'm like, hockey has never really gotten back to that level of having somebody that's a face on that
And
tier.
I don't, and a part of me thinks that hockey doesn't want that because the only reason why I say that is because, and the main reason why I agree with that is because I seen two of the best, Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin, and then not to mention
I thought Ovechkin was going to be the face, like
shit. Ovechkin should be the face, but of course, he hasn't been the same, not in the last few years. I forgot homie that played on the that played not on Vegas, dude that played for the Maple Leafs. He was really good. Like I said, I'm not really great with names in the NHL, man. But yeah, we seen enough people to say no. Personally, I think Sidney Crosby might be the best. Period. I think Sidney Crosby might be the best of all time, man. But that being said, I get it why you said that.
I mean, it's just. I mean, look.
Yeah,
that's 100%.
That's actually true. That's actually very true.
Speaking of which,
that's actually very true, man.
So WNBA. So Caitlin Clark is finding out the hard way what happens when that defense clamps down on you. You can't get away with the shit that you were doing in college, because they are clamping down on her ass like that. And it really kind of, and again, it goes back to what I said last week. Cheryl Swoop said it best. Yeah, that transition from college to WNBA is a motherfucker. Like it ain't forgiving. You got to adapt, because everybody just has this outside looking in thing. WNBA, it's weak, and I'm like, no, them girls play defense. Like it ain't even a joke.
I keep on saying this stat line, and it don't mean nothing to D because it's only been 9 games, and it don't mean nothing to me. Well, she makes 17 points, 5 rebounds. You sure? Anyway, 6 assists and a steal. I'm like, 5 rebounds? That seems kind of high. It's only been 9 games. I don't understand the WNBA only got like 30-something games, but come on. How many games are in the WNBA? I forgot about that. WNBA games. I
thought it was fun because normally once the NBA is over after the championship, WNBA is still pretty much going until
40 games. I thought so. 40 games.
Yeah, so it goes all the way until the start of college basketball. No, not college basketball. Like probably like NFL going into preseason.
Yeah, started NFL actually right about August. That's when they start wrapping it up. And I'm kind of like they actually talked about that on Gil's show, and I'm with Gil. Maybe we should start it when the NBA finals start, just to give the girls a little bit more of an open
that would be good.
That's here there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, but that also means they will probably have to restructure their TV contracts to adjust for that. Because think about it, you have the WNBA, you have the the USFL now. Well, UFL, United Football League. You have that now, and then you got MLB. So now you have to compete with all that, and then when the NFL season starts, NCAA football, like that's a lot.
Speaking of which, WNBA, shout outs to speaking of Gil's show, shout out to my girl Lexi Brown. I seen the game. I actually looked at the game where all the guys off of Gil's show was all the sideline supporting her and all this shit. I agree. When she got on that court, the crowd, the way they reacted, nigga, you would think Kobe was out there.
Mm-hmm.
Lexi is a fucking monster, I liked her when she was in college and all that shit, Like, I know she's a dirty ass Duke player, but she a beast.
That's why I was like, this is why I was saying the WNBA is in a really good position, and hopefully they can keep that momentum going and don't squander it. Like, because obviously they've been adjusting earlier on with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark being in WNBA on how like the tickets for them in games, whether it's playing against the opponent or whatever, like even with when they were playing the Mystics, I think it was either Caitlin or Angel was playing the Mystics. They had to take the arena from the esports arena straight to the fucking, to
the Capital One Center.
The Capital One Center.
And they're about to do that again when Caitlin comes into town, I think next week or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's impressive to me. Like now, let's keep it real, because everybody says this. Now the Sparks don't do it. I think they do. But they was discussing that like they still had to, shut off the nosebleed seats. And that's fine. That's fine because you still can fill up a whole, you still fill up that whole junk, everybody there anyway, man. So,
Mhm.
whatever, man. But yeah.
Yeah, that's so like I said, I'm pretty excited about that and stuff. So let me ask you this: F1, what's been happening lately with F1?
Oh, Chris, there's been a lot of nothing, but there's been a couple of things that happened real quick. Just the Monaco Grand Prix, um, Charles Leclerc won it, and that was a big thing for him because he's from Monaco. And one fun little thing, I gotta say this. When he won right before you get to the last lap, that's when you have the British commentator saying flowery shit about your life,
Mhm.
and he was like, and the man who's the son of a hairdresser is a cut above all the rest today, and I was like, don't do that. His dad was a race car driver and he was rich. Don't try to make it sound like he came out the dirt. All right. he's been he's been racing all his life. Anyway.
Look,
But he won that last race. It was really interesting because Max got caught in the back and he was like in sixth place. There's a lot of
yeah, I heard
bullshit
they
going on.
he stayed in sixth place the whole race.
The
They did.
whole race. The whole race. Him and Lewis was trying to get around him. He can't because you really can't fight on that track because it's Monaco. Because Monaco sucks and everybody keeps on saying, "Oh, we got to keep it," but whatever.
I
Man.
mean, it's a staple of F1. I mean, it's Monaco, but like I think that's what it was. I think it was either Lewis or somebody. It might have been on Hot Ones, or he might have just said it in an interview. But Lewis was saying like the size of the F1 cars has made it to where like the way the Monaco streets are for the race, it turns into a different race now. It ain't the same as it used to be. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Not to me, it's always been that way, man. Like well, but then again, the way, but yeah, he's right because the way the cars are, um, you ain't gonna get too much of a. It ain't
Said,
gonna be too different of
said
how
Max
everybody
literally
acts.
was. They said Max literally was like, bro, just give me a pillow. This shit's fucking boring. I'm like, God
Oh,
damn.
he hates. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm with Max too. He hates that fucking race. Anyway, I can tell you the top 10. The top 10 right now is 10th place is Yuki Tsunoda. Ninth place is Alonso with 33 points. Lewis Hamilton 46 points. Um, Russell 54. Oscar Piastri, who is having a great season. How many podiums? How many podiums he had this year? Only had one podium. That was the last race, but he's been doing good. But he has 71 points. Sergio Perez, who a lot of people thought wasn't going to be on the Red Bull team next year. He is. He actually resigned. He has 107. Carlos Sainz is having a tough time. Even he's in fourth place, but he's having a tough time. The reason why I say that is because he's not going to be on Ferrari next year. That's going to be Lewis who's going to take his place. So everybody's like, where's he going to go? So Red Bull told him, no. Mercedes is like, we good.
That's messed up.
So what about McLaren? McLaren, like, we got our two drivers. We're fine. So it's a lot of question marks where Carlos is going to be next year. Third place this year is Lando Norris. Lando won one race this year, 4 podiums. Charles Leclerc is in second place, and the first place, of course, is Max. But there is a bit of a difference this year that Max is not running away with this like he did last year. But that's only because he lost. This is the first race he's lost 3 races this year.
Okay.
So that's the main difference. Like Carlos Sainz, Lando, and Char all got a victory. He only had 5 this year, not compared to last year where he just swept the board. So that's a little bit different. Red Bull as a squad, they are having problems. I can't give specific problems outside of the fact that there was a lot of controversy and a lot of decision making has changed up. And also the director of one of the racing directors of the team left, and a lot of people, because he's like, nah, I'm out. So it's like, yo, what the fuck is happening? So there's a lot of questions. I am not going to speculate on this show, but yeah, it ain't the same, bro.
Yeah. So it's yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing what comes of this. Like next season is gonna be interesting to see is the expectation, at least from your point of view, do you see the expectation of Lewis being with Ferrari? Like, you think he's gonna come out the gate like being good, or is it gonna take some seasons for him to like really acclimate?
We shall see. And I say that only because it's a better car.
Mhm.
So You would think, yeah, but we shall see, because a lot of people think he's over the hill in that aspect for some strange reason. But whatever. Just real quick, your king of the ring, Gunther. Your queen of the dang, I didn't get her. I didn't get a picture of Nia. Anyway, your champion now is Liv. Also, she took Rhea's man. So
that's fun.
That's the thing that happened. And finally, Becky is leaving for a while. I think she's gonna be taking a break. Because a lot of people are, oh man, she ain't re-signed her contract with WWE.
She got a kid.
And I think she's gonna take a break. Because think about it. Seth is on hiatus because Seth got to recharge his whole body, and she doesn't have to re-sign. And I'm pretty sure WWE is like not going to be like, you better sign now or never at all.
Didn't Beth Phoenix do that shit for a minute? Like she stepped away when her and Edge, had a kid and all that stuff.
No, it was different for her because she was already kind of retired. She was already
semi-retired. Okay, I thought she was still active when her and Edge.
Nah, she was semi-retired at that point. With Becky, I think Becky's just going to take a break.
Okay, makes sense. Kind of like Charlotte right now is taking a break. Well, you could say Charlotte is taking a break in a way, kind of. But yeah, Gunther winning. I know a lot of people wanted LA Knight to win the King of the Ring.
Oh no, that won't happen.
I mean,
that won't happen.
Gunther winning was fine.
Yeah, because him and Randy was a really good match. I think a lot of people didn't like that finish, but
Liz winning though, I'm kind of
Liv.
Yeah, Liv. I want to say Liz. Liv winning. Liv. I'm kind of listen. I'm the jury's out in my eyes on what she can do. That's all it is. I'm just kind of like, all right, let's see what happens, but.
Hey, look! People want her to be the champion. She's Alexa until Alexa shows back up. That's how I feel about her. I don't think she's that great. The way she won that match was hilarious to me because Dom comes in there, tries to distract. She hits Becky with does a DDT on her on the chair. Grabs the chair, tries to throw it out the ring. Couldn't throw out through the ropes. Tried to throw it underneath the ropes and get stuck in the curtain. And by the time the referee turned around, the referee clearly sees the chair in the ring, but ignores it and go for the 1, 2, 3. I was like, yeah, good luck, girl. That ain't a bad omen. But yeah, that's it, man.
Speaking of which, you know that Vince McMahon's lawsuit got paused, right? Yeah, DOJ took over. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. What happens?
I can't speculate. I don't know.
Hey, look, once I saw DOJ is involved, I'm like, oh shit! Like, that's going to be interesting to see what happens with that because I mean. And also, you kind of understand now why, like, a lot of people that was working under WWE have distanced themselves from Vince and everything. Now it's like, oh, they probably saw this shit was going to get way worse than what it was already. So it's like, yeah, let's like just, yeah. When is that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul shit?
It's supposed to be 2 months from now in July, if I'm mistaken.
I hope Tyson just. Because that is just what are we doing here?
Yeah, July 20th. I don't think they're going to extend it.
So that's the weekend.
Top doctors urge Tyson to postpone it. Wow, really? And doesn't know how he can put body through intense training. So yeah, because he did have yeah, he was nauseated and dizzy from her. Oh, he had an ulcer that flared up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
The doctors are telling him he shouldn't do that shit. Okay. Tyson is 57, y'all. And yeah, we all know he can beat the shit out of Jake. But yeah, they're telling him not to do that shit. So
can you bet? Let me ask you this. Can you bet? I know we do a lot of sports betting in the US, but do they do sports bettings overseas?
Yes, they do. A whole lot of it.
Really?
Especially for cricket and soccer.
But how is it? How is it?
Whole lot of it.
Is it done in a sense to where it feels like a conflict of interest, like it is in the U.S.?
I'm pretty sure it has to be.
Okay.
I'm just going to assume. I don't know, but I'm just going to assume it has to be, especially for especially if you're betting in the lower leagues. I think it has to come up that like somebody's getting pocketing the money, man.
I've always been
Somebody
curious
does-
on that. I was like,
yeah, it has to be. I don't think you escape that. I don't think you escape that out of any country, man. When it comes to are you on the up and up with this betting?
Yeah. So, but yeah, NBA Finals is here. Like D said last week, we're definitely gonna ramp up on doing some sports movies. Just gotta figure out what the sports movies is gonna be. I mean, it is baseball season, so we might, hit some baseball movies.
Yeah,
I still want to do the rookie. I don't know why.
like I said, I'll still think about it.
So, but anyways, yeah, that's it for Working Title Sports Show. You got anything else?
Nah, we're good, man.
All right, cool. Catch you guys later. Peace.
All right, peace.